I mean, that's a difficult question to answer in terms of, I mean, the premise is national security, and this is a Cold War era or tool that's been around since the 70s. It's being done and continued to be done because there isn't a vocal opposition to it. Our goal really to make this film had a lot to do with how little Canadians knew that this was even happening. So our goal was really to raise awareness, and feeling like once we did raise awareness, more Canadians knew about this, that this would be something that would strike a chord with Canadians as something unjust, un-Canadian, and something that we need to abolish and get rid of.
I think we have to remember the post 9/11. At this time, Bush declared clearly that you are with us or against us. And in the war, we start looking for those sleeper agents inside Western societies. It's a kind of new McCarthyism at this thing, witch hunt, looking for strange people. And in front of the Supreme Court, the prosecutor said clearly, Al-Qaeda members are not women, they're men. They're not old, they're young. And they're educated university students, and they are from middle class, and they are married, so they have a clean covert, and we need tools to look for those dangerous people inside Western societies. So at this time, they used this tool, secure certificate, which was used during Cold War to deport Russian spies from UK, Canada, and the United States of America. So this is, I think, the beginning of this, this area of looking for suspected presumed terrorists, sleeper agents, and the 5 Harkat, Jaballah Mahjoub, Hassan Al-Mar'i, and me were the 5 high-profile cases after 9/11. So Canada, who didn't participate in Iraq war at this time, showed to US and the Bush administration they're doing too much their job to fight terrorism. So they used our 5 files like a tool of negotiation with the United States. I think perhaps I'm wrong. Thank you, Jackie. I felt very difficult to struggle against the Charter and to speak in Quebec against racism and Islamophobia than fighting for my own self against security certificates. I think that now in Quebec, we are living in very, very, very tough years. Before it was easy because we're fighting an unjust tool, and it was inside the Canadian law. But in Quebec, the debate is not reasonable. It's debate about values, about fear, about racism. So people are not, ils ne raisonnent pas, ils ne réfléchissent pas, they're not thinking, they're just scared, and the media played a very, very bad role in all these debates. So I found easier to fight against security certificates, even being suspected of sleeper agent of Al-Qaeda, than fighting against racism and Islamophobia in Quebec. So we also have to remember that we started this big struggle in Montreal against the constitutionality of the law. In Toronto and Ottawa, they were fighting to clear those men, to free them. But in Montreal, we got a wonderful team of lawyers, of activists. Mary Foster, the Coalition Justice for Adil Charkaoui were working a lot, Martin Duckworth, a lot of names, lots of people were doing rallies, demonstrations, working against the immigration law. No one is illegal, Solidarity Cross Borders, a lot of associations who struggled for all those years. And our goal was really clear. No two-third system. One system for Canadians and for refugees and for immigrants. But in Ottawa and Toronto, they were thinking inside the box. One day in Toronto, I was with Hassan, not Hassan Al-Mrai, Hassan for No One is Illegal Toronto, and I was debating with Barbara Jackman, and I told her, I felt being stabbed in my back in the Supreme Court in 2007, because Joanne Doyon and Dominique Larochelle, my lawyers, were fighting against the whole process. Our position legally was clear. Those tools are against the Constitution. But Barbara Jackman and Waldman and Copeland and other lawyers in Toronto, they were contesting not the legality of secure certificates, but trying to change this tool and to have less evil. So the special advocate, I refused, I won my case with two special advocates, but I never accepted this kind of secret trial. Security certificates is a mixture of Kafka and George Orwell, 1984. It's a mixture of it's secret trial, and you feel that you have less rights, but we were lucky in our unlucky situation because we got a huge support from people, ordinary people. And I think it was a victory not of 5 men, but a victory of all Canadian and Quebecers and activists. We got anarchists, communists, lots of activists who spend times and money supporting, not supporting us, but supporting fair trial in Canada. And I think we won. I'm talking about the principles, but we still have 3 men, and the government never signed another secure certificate. This is a huge victory. They stopped. But for those men, they're still in limbo, and I think our role now and our obligation is to help them. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about my fate. Inside jail, there are small wings, and in every wing, there are 40 prisoners. And every morning, the guards give the prisoners pills. And I will tell you, among 40 prisoners, were 2 not taking those pills. And this is a huge problem inside jails. Inside jail, I will tell you, 99% of people are taking any kind of drug. And this is clear drugs. Every morning they give them pills because ils sont déprimés, depressed. And yes, and they're giving them pills not to be depressed. And there is a huge traffic against jail about those pills. Selling them, sniffing them. You cannot imagine what they do with all this. So inside jail, if you don't have faith, you can start have serious psychiatric problems. You can. I saw people trying to make suicide inside their cells, and they were accused of small things. They risk 6 months. Somebody tried to kill himself for 6 months, and when I start talking to him, saying that, look, in my own country, in Morocco, the government promised not to kill me, but to give me life sentence. So he realized that 6 months is nothing. I told him I'm more than 1 year now waiting for nothing. So inside jail, you need faith. If you don't have faith, if you don't believe really in something, and I say something, for me it was clear, I'm Muslim, so I'm believing in Allah, in God. But for other people, if they don't have something to believe in it, they can become crazy for small things. And everything is gray. In some wings, high security wings, they put me with the gangs, with the bandidos, rock machines, CDP, health. And so when they put you in those wings, sometimes you don't even see the sky. And everything is gray. Tu as les barbelés? Yeah. In the sky, and you never touch the grass, and you have gray everywhere. And all the windows are closed. You cannot even smell fresh air. You have a ventilator giving you, in summer, very hot air. In winter, everybody heard Hassan al-Mrai talking about there is no heating sometimes. But the conditions in Quebec are better than Ontario. The jails in Ontario are horrible. And I think in Quebec, in the penitentiary system, rehabilitation is one of the objectives of jails in Quebec. But it's still very difficult, but less difficult than Ontario. So you need faith, and if you don't have faith, you will fail. In our 5 files, it was CSIS file. Our CMP were not really involved. And CSIS, this secret police, can spy on every Canadian without a warrant. They can listen to our conversations, read our emails. I discovered that in Canada, people are not really free to do what they want or to think what they want. Yes, there is a certain freedom in appearance. It appears that everything is free. But all our conversations, all what we are doing every day is scrutinized by the state. And the tool of the state, it ceases, the secret police. And there is another battle I went through in 2008 in this film. They didn't talk about it, but it was against a specific law in CSIS rules. It allowed them to tape the conversation, to spy on people, and when they spy on us, they can record the conversation. After they take the record, they give them to agents, and the agents will do a transcription of the recording, and they destroy the record. They take the transcription, they did a summary of the transcription, and they destroy the transcription. So they took the summary, they give it to a senior agent, CSIS agents, who can make an analysis. And with this analysis of the summary of the transcription of the recorded conversation, they can use it like an evidence. And we fought until the Supreme Court in 2008, and we won again against CSIS. And now, if they're spying on us, they can do it without warrants, but they cannot destroy the recording. They have to keep it. So this is another battle we did in 2008, and it shows you how the state can spy on every Canadian, not immigrants, any activist. Normally, they don't have rights to spy inside politicians' places, universities, churches, mosques, but we discovered something else. They cannot do it, but they are sending other spy agents from other countries, United States, Morocco, Egypt. And those spies, they can send the record to their own countries and exchange the intelligence with CSIS, who can they use them again here by signing an agreement with those countries. So this is really 1984. During our, thank you, during our struggle, in the beginning, we got very strong support from the Bloc Québécois in the beginning. And the NDP too, especially with Alexa McDonough, before Jack Layton. Alexa McDonough was really clear against all those laws, and this lady did really a wonderful job in supporting us in the parliaments. So Bloc Québécois and NDP were against this law. We tried to make some contacts with the liberals when they lost the power, and we got some MPs, but not the support of the party. And forget about conservative. So in Quebec, Québec Solidaire show support. The Communist Party, we have Fernand with us tonight, who is president of the Communist Party of Canada now. So we got support from the Communist Party and other parties here. But like I told you, it was also some MPs. For example, even inside the Liberal Party, we got support of some elements, but never all the party. And when C3 was in front of the parliament for the votes, Stéphane Dion refused to meet with us, and we did a huge rally in Saint-Laurent in front of his office. He met with some activists, and he made a clear condition that he cannot meet with me, but with other activists and my parents. And he refused to vote against the law. So the Liberal Party could, in 2008, stop all this process, but they refused, and they voted for the law, and they gave the minority government of Harper at this time support for voting this law. I think now we are in a worse situation with this new law of stripping citizenship from Canadians. It's more dangerous than the security certificate. Security certificate was targeting refugees and landed immigrants. But with the new law, everybody can be targeted. And we have also the no-fly list. So lots of people are in those no-fly lists, and they don't know. One day, when you try to take the plane, you will find yourself in Canadian or American no-fly lists. We have another law of with imposing, RCMP is asking for another law for imposing conditions and restrictions on citizen of Canada. So they can impose to you GPS bracelets or house arrest. And it will be in front of the government, the parliament in the next months. So I think people are not aware about all those projects, and this movie perhaps will be the opportunity to reflect and to think about all those new laws.
Thank you. Perfect segue. You read our minds. Well, in response just to the first part, we're very excited. We're opening theatrically in Ottawa on Sunday, actually. We're going to be playing it for 3 days at the Bytown, and Sophie will be there, so we're looking forward to catching up with her. She's really tour de force. She's really has quite an indefatigable spirit, and what she's gone through and how she's continued to fight alongside everyone else involved in the process is very impressive. In terms of plans for other people to see the film, we have actually just launched a Kickstarter campaign for a grassroots cross-Canada screening tour. As we've mentioned, we're very fortunate to have a distributor, so we've had this limited theatrical release in Ottawa and in Toronto, and we're so fortunate to be here with Cinema Politica and RIDM in Montreal. But we do want, we made this film for Canadians. Now we really want to make sure that as many Canadians as possible see it, and we really want to bring the film to communities that might not otherwise have access to independent Canadian films, such as this one. So you can check out our website. That there's a link to our Kickstarter page. We have a video explaining what we're trying to do, but basically to just tour the film around to as many places as we can get it. So if you feel this is a film that you want more Canadians to see and you feel enraged or passionate about the issue, we please encourage you to check it out. Every dollar counts. We really just want to show it to as many people as possible and continue the kind of really constructive dialogue I feel we've had this evening. So thank you all for taking the first step, and we hope that you'll consider making a donation and encouraging your friends and family to do the same.
Thank you.